3, 2, 1. Hi everyone, this is Christine Josty from Mail Something Pretty, and today I wanted to show you how to make a waterfall card. I was asked to do this in my club, so I did a little research and I came up with this, both a portrait size, a vertical, and a horizontal. And what a waterfall card is when you pull your little handle, you get this kind of little waterfall effect. Isn't that cool? And so the same thing with the horizontal one. You just pull this way and it just goes sideways. So I'm going to show you how to do both. It's almost exactly the same. It's just the little paper orientation. So let me put that to the side. I did a little work ahead of time. I just figured I just wanted to show you the construction of how the card was put together. So I already did my stamping. And I can show you, I did that with the Make a Splash Hostess set. This is a set that is available to hosts, hostesses during the spring. So that, let's see, the catalog is January through June of 2020. If you either spend $150 in products on your own, then you're eligible to purchase it. And I believe it's $10. It's a special rate for hosts. Or if you have friends that pool orders together and you hit that $150 threshold, you can order it too. But it's a fun little set, and I've made a whole bunch of cards that I'll post some pictures on my website with. But today we're going to make the waterfall card. So what we need is just a regular size card base. So that's a regular 8.5 by 11 cut in half and scored. So it's the typical A5, A2, all mixed up. And then this is from the Peaceful Poppies, but I liked it had this water effect to it, and that is 5 1/4 by 4. I'll put all the measurements and everything on my blog too, with link to this site, so you can see all the colors and sizes that I used. I used a strip that is also 4 inches by 3/4 inches. You could certainly make, if you wanted a little bit wider, you could do 1. I wouldn't really do any wider than 1 if you don't want it too. You could play with it. I wouldn't do it too wide. And then these guys here are this is Pretty Peacock. That's a 2-inch square, and then the white is 1 3/4 inch square for all 4 of them. You could probably make them slightly bigger. I was actually going to use a different set, but my stamp was a little bit too big. You could probably make them a little bit bigger, maybe a 1/4 inch bigger, and play with it too. But I like that 2-inch square. Square seemed to work pretty good. And then the other thing you need is you need to secure down this strip, because this is really the only thing secured down by brads. And so I have, these are old mini brads, but any kind of brads would work. And so what I'm going to do is take my strip and just pierce a hole here and put the brad through. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. Things are so little they're hard to grab. Okay, like that. And when you do paper pierce, so you want some sort of foam board so you don't wreck your table and it accepts the sharp piercing. Okay, so next I'm going to glue. I'm going to use my multi-purpose liquid glue. You could use tear and tape. I don't think the snail would be strong enough because you're doing a lot of interaction with the card, so you really want this secure down. So the glue certainly does that. And I like it. It doesn't take that long to dry, and it's super strong. Oh, I did a mess. There we go. Okay, so that will take a second to dry. And I actually used the glue to glue these guys down too, but the snail would probably be fine on those. Okay, the next piece that we need to do is your strip. So this piece here that you're actually interacting with, this is 2 inches wide by 9 inches long, and I scored it. I have to look at my paper here. I scored it at, let's see, it went this way, at 2, 2 3/4, 3 1/2, and 4 1/4. So each of them are 3/4 in between each other. And then what I'm going to do on the longer side, I'm using my Delightful Tag Top Punch. I think it's called something like that. And just for a little decorative edge. I could have left it plain, but it's kind of fun to have you know, something visually pleasing. It also puts a hole in there so I can put my ribbon in there. And then I'm going to fold on each of these score lines. You can use either your bone folder or fingernail. I also, for this one, since it's white, I used my thick Whisper White cardstock. I just thought it gave me a better grab than the regular Whisper White is thinner, and it's the same weight as any colored cardstock, so you can use any color you want. Okay, now we go for the assembly. Actually, I'll do that after. So you have to decide which order you want your pieces here. I think I'm going to stick with what I was doing. So that was, I kind of went with the colors. And I can tell you all my colors, I used a lot of colors. Pumpkin Pie, Poppy Parade, Calypso Coral, Mango Melody, Greeny Apple Green, Pretty Peacock, Pear Pizzazz, Balmy Blue, and Soft Sea Swim are all in these colors. I certainly could have used all the same green, but I wanted it to break it up a little bit. And then I did very similar colors for the fish and the crab. But again, I'll put those on the website for you. Okay, so I'm going to, I'm all sticky. I'm going to fold that first score line and leave it like that. And then I'm going to put some glue on here, and this is actually the same size, but I want to make sure that this edge is exactly against the edge, this folded edge, because I don't, you know, sometimes when you put things together it's not exactly on, but if I didn't, you would see it as I pull down. Okay, and the glue gives you a little minute to move around. Okay, so that's my first one. And then for the second one, I'm just going to shift down just to see that one little part. I'm going to put glue here, and then I'm going to put my next one on there. The same thing, I'm going to make sure that my top is aligned and also that the sides are aligned. So they should all be, oops, nice and a little more glue on the top. Nice and straight on both sides. I'll just hold that for a second. Okay, and the same thing, I'm going to shift down, do the next one. I could have left it all out and put it on there, but I just found that this was a little bit easier. You're just seeing one space at a time. Put one piece on at a time. Here's the last one. Okay, so those are my waterfall pieces. And I already pre-stamped on the inside too. Okay, so now it's really putting it together. I'm going to put my ribbon, I didn't even measure how long this is. It's longer than I really need. I'm going to put the two edges together, two ends together. I'm going to put them through the hole through the front. And then I'm going to take the loop and grab those ends and pull it through. And you can pull one piece at a time to make sure it's tight. I will trim that after I have it on the cart because I know it's too long. Okay, so here's the base that we already made. I'm just going to take my pieces and put that through there. I'm going to kind of line up where I want it on the card. I'm going to center it. I like how there's a little space under here, you can see. So the only place that this piece gets secured onto the card is right here. I'm going to put some glue right there, And I'm gonna carefully and slowly just fold this down nice and straight. And just hold that for a second, and that's the only place. So that's why the brads are important, because it keeps this piece secure. Like if it was just glue dotted or snailed, it would pull away. Because even sometimes you can even see like it pulls up a little bit, which is fine. It's fully secure, but you need that strong. Okay, and so I'll just do this carefully because it's still a little wet, but there we go. And then I'll just trim my ribbon. And I'm going to show you how I did the horizontal one too, which is very similar. So that's the vertical of the portrait. And then for the landscape or the sideways, I do want to show you my mistake. So I had put it all on there, and I go to open up my card and I put it on upside down. So I just want to avoid that for you. I actually did it twice. So what I'll do is I'm just going to cut that off and mount it on another piece of cardstock, because that's glued on. I can't flip it over. So, whoops, I learned. So I already put this piece on exactly how I did here. I just put the brads on same way, and then I glued on the paper. And so now I'm ready to assemble. And the only difference is these are done the same way, is this piece is just, the inside is stamped sideways, whereas this piece was stamped vertically. Okay. And I fold, the scores are the same. So the other difference is when you assemble, so I'm going to assemble sideways rather than going that way. So I'm going to do my same order. I'm going to put the glue, again, I like to put the glue on the white piece rather than the back of here, just in case something overhung a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to shift with the glue on the next one. I think the reason why I did that upside down is I didn't quite have the forethought. I had made it and I said, oh, let's try it, and then I had already had my piece down there, and I didn't even think to open up the card to see how it was, the direction. But that's all right. Here's the last piece. Okay, and the same thing, we're gonna slide this through. See, centered on the card. Lift this up, and it's okay that that's covering, because that gets pulled down, so that won't be hidden. See how I'm closing it flat, just so you don't get glue, like, if you did it tiered, you might get some glue where you don't want it and get sticky. Okay, so now I just do it carefully. That gets pulled out. So there you go. So those, let me just trim my ribbon here. But that is how you make a waterfall card, which is kind of fun. It opens up lots of possibilities. You can put photographs. I know someone made a Christmas card that she had 4 kids, so she put each child on there. You put all sorts of ideas on there. So I would love to see what you do. So please send me pictures or comments, and let me know how your card came out. Thank you for watching. This is Christine Josty of Mail Something Pretty. Please check out my blog, mailsomethingpretty.com, where you can get more of the details on this card, as well as lots of other things. And while you're there, be sure to sign up for my mailing list. I send out weekly emails with all sorts of information. Thanks again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.